My name is Raymond Rodriguez. I was born on October 8th, 1953. I'm a great age of 69 years old. I'm an old man. My parents, Gomesindo Rodriguez and my mother, Flora Rodriguez, my parents had 10 kids. With the 10 of us, there was always real action among us. But when we used to work in the fields, the migrant fields, back in the 60s, we used to work in the fields working for our parents, and that was money that we never as children ever had. I started when I was 10 years old. Our work always started at 6 in the morning, and we were always working till at least 7 o'clock at night. My mother would always have food for us after we worked for 2 or 3 hours after the initial 6 o'clock to 8 or 8:30, and then we would sit down. As a family, we'd sit around and we'd eat tortillas, and all of us would be laughing and joking. It was just a great environment. It was a really touching feeling then. But we were working hard. It was hard as a 10-year-old and all the way up to 17 years old. Every summer I was doing this same stuff over and over again. I eventually moved from Wyoming, and I went to California. This is where I had decided to make that choice to better improve myself. So I left my family, and it was really it was really sad, really sad. I gave him a hug and stuff. It was really a sad moment, but I left. I was living in a small apartment at the time, but it was okay. It was a good living. I met a lot of people. It was a good life. I really enjoyed myself. I would go and visit Wyoming once a year to go see my parents, because they still lived in Wyoming. But then eventually they were going to move from Wyoming to Texas, and that made it almost impossible for me to see them. My wife and I got married in 1992. 2 years after that, we got Emily. Okay, so that makes me a little bit older now. So I'm at 41 years old when Emily was born, and then at 44, then our lovely little boy shows up. Joshua, great little kid, and both of them growing up together, Emily and Josh, they just were so much fun to be with. I just entirely enjoyed being with them all the time. It was a good experience. It made me feel good about being a parent for these children. Even though I was an older person, wherever I am, it's always a family unit here, always a family unit. We were still living in Missouri, my wife and I, and now with my daughter and son, we decided to go back to California, and we were going to first go to see my parents on our way to California. My understanding was that my mother was not feeling well. There could be some cancer. I went to go see my mother, and she lost a lot of her hair because of the cancer. She looked ill. She looked like she was just maybe half the weight that she always weighed. I knew that she was on her way out. It just was horrible. I just couldn't. I was just so sad, so sad. A year later, my mother passed away. In early 2013, my dad passed away. It was real tough time to see my dad. Now I know both my parents were gone. It was really hard because I loved them so much. I had to do that. But all my brothers and sisters were there for them. Knowing as a child, it was always good with my parents. Always knew that we had to work every day, and we had no problem with them. We understood that they were working hard all their lives too. They always worked their entire lives till the very end. And when we were there as a group, it was just so much joy. You can't do anything about that, but just try to look forward to being with the people that you're with. And that's important. So, but that's all I can bring to this. Sorry, I couldn't help it. So.